What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the live postgame show for the Browns versus the 49ers. The game is just about getting under wraps as we're under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Browns are going to lose this game 26-8. And my God, what a horrible second half that was. That was such a ridiculous second half. And let's just talk about it because the Browns' first half, pretty much, I would probably say the Browns heading into halftime probably should have had the lead over the 49ers. They probably should have led 11-10 going into halftime. The offense was playing with, good rhythm. They had a good sequence going with, running the football with Quinshon Judkins, getting Dylan Sampson involved in the offense, having quick throws with, Shador, having throwing screens, passes. Shador missed one over the top pass to Jerry Jeudy, but outside of that, the offense was having a lot of success in throwing quick passes, getting screens, running the football, mix and matching it up, and the defense was doing their job in trying to contain the 49ers on offense. And then the second half happened, and they absolutely shat the bed. They absolutely shat the bed. This was an awful, awful showing by the majority of this football team in the second half. The special teams unit has got to change. The special teams unit is ridiculous. It is 100% a joke that we cannot find one, not, we don't need 7 or 8 people. We cannot find one freaking person to catch a punt, to catch a kickoff. We can't find one person to not catch the ball and tiptoe on the 5-yard line, trying to catch the ball. We can't find one person who can catch punts and run the ball, and try and get 5 to 10 yards. We can't find that. We can't find one person. So that's an issue. That's an issue. We also have special teams giving up long kick returns yet again. Coverage is an issue. Tackling is an issue on special teams. Ball security all day long was a horrible, horrible, horrible thing for special teams. Gage Larvidan probably fumbled 3 different times. I knew he fumbled twice. He probably fumbled another time that I don't remember. But special teams has to be overhauled. Bubba Ventrone is not long for Cleveland. He's going to have to go. And this entire game showed you the difference between coaches. To me, this was a supremely different coaching matchup. You got Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh on the other side of the ball or other side of the field who know what they're doing. They know how to run their team. They know how to run an offense. They know how to do everything there is to be a winning organization. They don't care about who the quarterback is. They ran out there with Mac Jones. Mac Jones, who has not been good in his pro career. They went out there and won with him. Kyle Shanahan doesn't have Nick Bosa. He doesn't have Michael Williams, his first round pick. They don't have a lot of players on defense because a lot of their players are hurt on defense. That doesn't matter to Kyle Shanahan because you know why? He's 9-4. Who gives a shit? Kyle Shanahan, he can work around it. The problem is that you have a head coach on the opposite side of the field who knows how to coach winning football, who knows how to breed winners on his football team. And then you have Kevin Stefanski on the other side. You have Kevin Stefanski who does not know how to win, who does not know how to breed a winning culture, who does not know what it takes to work around adversity and to win a football game. He doesn't know how to win. That's the issue. And this game showed you the difference between head coaches, football teams, and organizations. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, they know how to win. The Browns, you don't know how to win. Kevin Stefanski does not know how to win. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And they showed you time after time after time after time today and throughout this season. They do not know what they are doing. They do not know how to win. They don't know how to build a culture. They do not know what it is or how to win. They don't know. They've showed you this multiple times throughout the season. They don't know how to win. They don't know how to build a winning culture. Now say what you want about Andrew Berry. Say what you want about Andrew Berry. You guys, if you guys are new here, you guys have not seen my videos, I'm not the biggest fan of Andrew Berry. I have criticized him many times. But you cannot say that his draft class this year is a slam dunk, home run, grand slam. Whatever you want to call it, it's a grand slam. The problem is that you have a head coach who does not know how to win. This head coach does not know how to win. You have one winner on his coaching staff. That is Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is the only player or only coach on this organization in this staff that knows what the hell they're doing, it seems like. And the defense didn't really even play that well either. The defense did not play that well. Do not get it straight. Do not get it twisted. They did not play well either, okay? They did not play well either. But Jim Schwartz, no matter who's out there, they could throw Shelby Harrison. They could throw fucking Chad Thomas in there. Chad Thomas. Who the hell's Chad Thomas? Nobody knows, but he goes out there. Sometimes he makes a play. Other times, it's like the Jets game. He jumps off sides on a 4th and 5 against the Jets. But you know what? They put him out there. He does something positive for the team. Again, this is a difference between organizations and difference between coaches. Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers know what they're doing. They know how to coach a football team. They can work around adversity. They know what they're doing. They know how to win a football game. Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Rees, all these guys, they don't know what they're doing. And it showed today. They don't know what they're doing. They just don't. We'll get into the offense right now because I would say, for the most part, the rookies did pretty good. I mean, Carson Schlesinger is still Carson Schlesinger. He's like a bloodhound for the football. He follows that with his nose. Boom, right there. I mean, absolutely amazing. Carson Schlesinger still does what Carson Schlesinger does. Mason Graham was a bully today. A bully. Again, since the bye week, he has been absolutely a tear. He's been awesome. Mason Graham has been awesome. Harold Fannin, pretty good. Had the touchdown pass from Shador Sanders, got open, was able to break a couple tackles. He's been good. Quinshon Judkins was really good again. Can only do what you can do with his offensive line. Dylan Sampson flashed. Shador had some good moments. He also had some bad moments. Held on to the football way too long. Took too many sacks. Took you out of field goal range a couple of times because of the sacks. Again, it was a mixed bag with Shador Sanders, but there were some flashes there. You didn't see flashes with Dylan Gabriel. There's still some things to improve on, okay? He didn't play well in the second half. Do not get it twisted. He did not play well in the second half, but there's some things to improve upon. I still like him a lot more than Dylan Gabriel. We'll see how he is with the ankle injury. We'll see going forward and how, if he just twisted it, he came back in after that one play. We'll see. Hopefully he's good to go against Tennessee. But this entire game showed you the difference between organizations. It's a complete difference between how the Browns operate, how the 49ers operate, how Kevin Stefanski operates, how Kyle Shanahan operates. This is a complete difference in terms of who looked prepared versus who didn't look prepared. What team looked prepared, looked more prepared to you guys today? Was it the Browns or was it the 49ers? Was it the 49ers who were missing a lot of their key defensive players today who are on IR, who are hurt, who have a rookie or have a quarterback who's playing on one leg, who is wearing a brace on his throwing arm? He was wearing a brace on his throwing arm, guys. You remember that in the first half? They were showing him on the bench wearing a brace on his right elbow. So he's got an elbow injury. He's wearing a brace. What team looked prepared? Was it that team who's injured to high hell? Christian McCaffrey is not the same Christian McCaffrey that we've seen the last couple of years. He doesn't have the same burst as he did. What team looked better to you? Was it them or was it this hodgepodge rookie group of Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees? And we're going to outsmart you because we think we're so smart because we went to an Ivy League school. Hey, you know what? You know what they're not going to expect? You know what the 49ers are not going to expect? How about we have a 4th down and 1 inside our own 30, and we have Harold Fannin under center instead of Shador Sanders or any other quarterback? Isn't that smart? Isn't that smart, guys? Again, that's my issue here. This is my issue. You've got guys who think they are smart, who don't know how to win, who have to try and outsmart everybody because they know head to head they can't beat them. They can't beat them. Kyle Shanahan ran circles today around the Browns. He ran circles around Kevin Stefanski. He ran circles around this Browns defense. It's just the most annoying, frustrating thing. And again, I said this in my video the other day. You guys can go back on my channel and look at it after we're done here today. That report that came out from The Athletic, from Mike Jones at The Athletic, it sounds like Kevin's not long. He's not long for the Browns. It sounds like Jimmy is either going to clean house at the end of this year or it's going to be Andrew coming back and Kevin leaving. No scenario that was proposed by Mike Jones or anything else said Kevin Stefanski's coming back. It's either they're both going or Andrew's staying and Kevin's going. We'll see how that's going on, or we'll see how that's going to happen, or how that's going to work. We'll see. But if that is the case, and if that report is true, that Jimmy's going to clean house or keep Andrew and let Kevin go, by all means, go for it. Because I don't know how many times that we have to sit here and watch the same thing over and over and over again, multiple times, multiple years, of the Browns trying to outsmart people and then doing the dumbest shit possible every single day. I don't understand how many times that you can sit there and watch the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again with Kevin Stefanski trying to outsmart people, and then you absolutely bungle it because instead of taking what the defense gives you, you want to be cute, you want to be smart, and you absolutely fuck it up. I don't know how many more times we're going to have to watch this. Hopefully, if the report is true, you guys can go back and watch my video. If that report is true, hallelujah, we may be saved from Kevin Stefanski. Because I can't go through it another year. I can't go through it another year, guys. I can't do it. I cannot do it another fucking year. I can't do it. I apologize for swearing, but I just can't. I'm so frustrated. I cannot go through it. I cannot go through it another year. I just can't. Okay? So, hopefully the report is true. But this whole entire game showed you the difference, again, between the organization. It just showed you the vast difference between how a winning organization looks versus how the Browns are. And to me, Jimmy Haslam has to take a look at this and say, hey, look at all the empty seats. Look at all the 49ers fans that were sitting in the stadiums that, should be for Browns fans. Browns fans should be sitting in those seats. But instead, we had either empty seats or 60 to 70% of the stadium was filled by 49ers fans. If you're Jimmy Haslam and you watch that, if you're at the game, if Jimmy Haslam's at the game, even watching it on TV, you see that? No, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. And I hope that report's true. I hope the report's true that either they're both going to be gone or Kevin's going to be gone and Andrew's staying. I hope so. Because this cannot continue. And Jimmy said it himself. We're not going 3-14 another year. We're not doing it. That's unacceptable. 3-14 is not acceptable. Well, guess what? You're 3-9. You may have one or two more winnable games on this schedule going forward. You're playing against the worst team in the NFL, against the Titans, next week. Is that going to be the game where you turn it around? We'll see. Who knows? They just got absolutely destroyed by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who won again today, who are now 8-4. So your draft pick for the Jaguars is not looking great right now. But you're going up against a very winnable opponent, a very beatable opponent. We'll see how that's going to work out. But you got 5 games. Genuinely, even 4-13, I don't think saves Kevin's job. And if, like, again, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. If that report's true, good riddance. Good riddance. Good riddance. 7 wins and 27 losses in 2 years. Not good enough, dude. Not good enough. Because you know why? At least Andrew Barry can come out here and say, hey, I picked Mason Graham. I picked Quinshon Judkins. I picked Dylan Sampson. I picked Carson Schlesinger. I picked Shador Sanders. Remember, guys, Kevin wanted Dylan Gabriel. Kevin, if I'm Andrew Barry, I'm pointing this out to Jimmy. If it's either I'm staying or we're both going, I'm saving my ass if I'm Andrew Barry. Hey man, I wanted Shador. Kevin was the one who was all in on Dylan Gabriel. From all reports that are coming out, that's the case. Shador or Andrew wanted Shador Sanders, and Kevin liked Dylan Gabriel. That right there is a fireable offense. Right there. So, again, Andrew can point out and say, hey, you know what? I picked the rookie of the year, the defensive rookie of the year. I picked that dude. That dude's probably going to be an all-pro. I picked Mason Graham, who may be a very good, maybe a Pro Bowler in his career. I picked Quinshon Judkins, who's leading rookies in rushing yards. I picked those dudes. Who is Kevin going to hang his hat on? The only person that Kevin could hang his hat on is Dylan Gabriel. How did Dylan Gabriel do? Not good. Not good. So again, we've got 5 games left. You got maybe 1 or 2 winnable games between the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe you can do something in the next 5 weeks to change Jimmy's mind. I don't know. But 4-13, even if you do beat the Titans and you lose the rest of the game, you go 1-4 in the next 5 weeks. You can't come back from that. Are you serious? You're gonna go 7-27 in the last 2 years, and you're gonna think that's acceptable? No. But then again, this is the same owner that brought back Hugh Jackson after going 1-31. like we're in hell. We are in hell. No matter what you do, if you keep Kevin, you're gonna have to deal another year of this. You're going to have to go through another quarterback cycle potentially if Shador Sanders continues to struggle. Maybe you're going to have to go through another quarterback cycle. Maybe, you're going to have to go through another year of tanking if you have to go, and take Shador Sanders and keep Shador Sanders as the quarterback next year. If he still struggles next year, you're going to have to go through another year of losing. And if you're supposed to follow the words of Jimmy Haslam, that's not acceptable. So it's all up to Jimmy Haslam now. Are you going to abide by your words, what you said before the season started? 3-14, not acceptable. Losing is not acceptable, not an option. If those reports are true from Mike Jones at The Athletic, this cannot continue. This cannot continue. Bubba, Kevin, gotta go. Gotta go. I don't know if you bump up Tommy Rees to be the head coach since he's been, he's supposedly the new darling, the new young coach of the NFL and of college football. I don't know if you bump him up. I don't know if you go after, Mike McDonald or Kubiak from Seattle. You go after them. Maybe there's a report that John Harbaugh may be leaving Baltimore. Could John Harbaugh be in the mix? I don't know. But after what I've seen for the last 6 years of Kevin Stefanski, I'm done, man. I'm done. And it sounds like Jimmy Haslam is done too. So we'll see. All right. That's my rant there for a little bit. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This is the most amount of viewers we've had on this live stream at one time. We went up to 101 viewers. You guys have been absolutely killing it. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. My God, you guys have been killing it in the chat too. Hazahoo says, this team is so poorly coached. Bubba Ventrone needs to walk home and look for a new job. Yes, he does. President says, Bubba Ventrone needs to get launched into the sun. Yes, he does. He should get fired into a cannon. Hazahoo again, clean house except for Jim Schwartz. I agree. Beast Grills, what's up, man? Salute to you as well. Sanders did not impress me, says President. He was not great in the second half. He was good in the first half. It absolutely was horrible in the second half. Beast Grills says special teams is terrible. Jet Massive says Browns coaches wanted to lose. It's so obvious. They weren't great, man. Sharon says the coach needs to go. Absolutely. Special teams is bad. A lot of people are agreeing with the special teams being bad. That seems to be the theme of the day. Sharon again says it's not even his fault. The quarterback, special teams, the coach, they all need to go. They need to clean house. Well, again, according to the report, again, you guys can go back and watch my video about the report from Mike Jones at The Athletic after the stream. Talks all about the Browns, and maybe the cleaning house of Jimmy Haslam may clean house. Jet Massive, again, their plan was to throw and tank the season. Sanders was the wrench in the wheel to them. I agree. Duck YD says, when they going to fire everyone? Probably by the end of this year, man. Dogbone 4794 says, this loss is on special teams, fumble, long return, and kickoff where it was caught. I know. I agree. Special teams was not great. Offense wasn't great in the second half. Defense wasn't great in the second half. So it's a team effort, man. AKA Lytical says the rookies are good. Yes, they are. Kevin King 8513 says all those fumbles and Shador wasn't on the field for either of them. I know. AKA Lytical again says looked like they didn't want a 12 to throw, but I guess due to weather. But special teams is where it just all went wrong. Yeah, I mean the wind was just not helping anybody. I mean that long deep pass to Isaiah Bond, you could see that wind just took it, man. It's just a lot. It was just very, very, very bad. But thank you guys so much for coming out here. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We do this every single game, after every single game for the Browns. We also do Coming Off the Bench Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's a live show. Speaking of coming off the bench, guys, tomorrow or this week, show's moving to 11 a.m. instead of noon. So 11 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just because I have to work very early. So 11 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday for Coming Off the Bench. Make sure you guys are staying tuned for that. But let's just talk about a little bit more I'll read some of your guys' chats again later on. You guys have been absolutely buzzing the chat. Thank you guys so much for coming out here. But let's just talk about the Browns a little bit more. Let's just talk about Shador Sanders. How about that? So Shador, let's talk about Shador Sanders. The first half of Shador Sanders, I think, was the best he's played. The best he's played. He was decisive in the pocket. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew where to go with the football. He stood in the pocket even when pressure was coming. He stood in the pocket, took hits, delivered the football on time, on target. Very good. The first half was the best he's played so far as a pro. And that reminded me of the Carolina game. He stood in the pocket, took some hits, took pressure, flung the football, got it to his man. He took what the defense was giving him, did amazing with it. I like the play calling from Tommy Rees when they kept going with the mix and matching of run and pass. Get Quinshawn going in the running game, have them stack the box, and then your offensive line not doing great. Not doing well against the 49ers defensive line and their defensive seven. So what are you going to do? You're going to do a lot of screens, a lot of dump off passes, quick passes. The screen game was working. The screen game worked a lot. You got it to Quinshawn Judkins. You got it to Dylan Sampson. You got it to Jerome Ford even. Jerome Ford made an appearance and had a positive impact. They did very well in terms of game planning and getting a lot of stuff around Shador Sanders to make it comfortable for him, okay? He had the missed throw downfield to Jerry Jeudy. Wish you could have it back, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But to me, the first half showed you the difference between Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Shador can stay in the pocket, can look over the offensive line, stay in there, deliver throws, can take shots downfield. He has the arm, he has the accuracy. Missed Jerry Jeudy on the one. You wish that you would have that one back. It is what it is. But to me, it showed the clear difference between Dylan Gabriel and Shador the entire season, right? Then topped it all off. Again, topped it all off. The great touchdown throw, the 34-yard throw to Harold Fannin. Wide open. What did he do? Eyes downfield, stayed in the pocket, held onto the football, shuffled to his left, stepped into the throw, launched it downfield. He was wide open, threw it over top of the defenders. That was the perfect throw, the perfect play. To me, that was his best throw he's made all season long. I know a lot of people are going to talk about the Isaiah Bond throw from last week against the Raiders, but to me, that was the best throw he made all season long. Was that throw, that touchdown throw to Harold Fannin? That was the best throw, the best play he did all season long. Okay. However, he also had some bad moments. The one bad moment in the first half was taking that sack out of field goal range. Okay. Again, the problem that was Shador coming into the season, coming into the NFL, was that he takes too many sacks, he holds onto the football too long, and he starts to drift back instead of stepping up into the pocket. And that whole time, when he was going to take that sack play, what happened? Held onto the football too long, and what did he start doing? Started backing up until there were 3 49ers around him. He didn't have anywhere else to go. Tackle him for a 16-yard sack. Can't do that, man. You're in field goal range. You can put your team up. Instead, you're out of field goal range. You're at the 46-yard line instead of the 30. Okay, so that was the worst part of the first half for Shador Sanders. Second half is when everything just got away from the Browns, and Shador Sanders necessarily didn't do that well either. Again, I feel like that Isaiah Bond throw, he tried to throw it into the wind. He was going into the dog pound. You could tell when he threw that ball, you could tell the wind got to it because he threw the ball, it was going like this. And then the funny thing was that you could see halfway into the arc of the throw, the wind caught it and it just went whoop, like that. So again, they were showing it. I thought it was a very good thing by CBS to show the full extent of it, because you already know Shador Sanders haters were already on Twitter. They're going to be saying, "Oh my God, what a horrible throw by Shador Sanders. He can't throw a D, blah, 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 blah." Well, you saw Isaiah Bond coming over from the left side of the field, going over into the post route, coming across the field. He had him wide open. And if it was perfect conditions, probably makes that throw, and it's probably either a touchdown or you're down at the 1 yard line, right? So again, he had some moments there where I think he probably could, succeed if it was in better conditions. But again, second half, he just took too many sacks, man. It was just too many sacks, too many, held onto the football too long. He just started regressing back to, his bad habits. And that's a problem when you're a rookie quarterback, is that if you have some bad habits, they're hard to get rid of. Now, I'm not saying that Shador can't get better, but those are some pretty nasty habits he needs to get rid of. And I hope that, going forward, the Browns are going to continue to work with him at getting rid of those habits. He's going to have to stop holding onto the football too long. With this offensive line, you can't do that, man. If it was 2020 Browns offensive line, then maybe you can hold on to the football a little bit longer, okay? But 2025 Browns offensive line, man, you can't do that. You can't hold on to the football too long, and especially, you cannot absolutely not go back and run. You cannot run backwards. Not in the NFL, man. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes, unless you're Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, you have the speed and the athleticism to get away from these guys. No, you cannot go back. You cannot run back. You cannot circle back, do all this stuff that you did in college. You just can't do it, man. So, to me, those were the two biggest problems that I saw today, is that he regressed holding onto the football too long and took way too many sacks. Way too many sacks today, especially in the second half. But the worst one he took, most definitely by far, was in that first half when they had the ball at the 30-yard line. He held onto the football, was looking for people, looking to take the deep shot, and he kept walking back, and then until, he had 3 guys around him and took a 16-yard sack. So, to me, he had a very good first half, not a great second half. I'm not going to kill him by saying he's not. Like, I know some people are saying in the chat, some people are saying on Twitter, he's not good, he's not it, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to make a throated comparison, or throated, thing for his career, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. It's his second start in the NFL. It's not fair. Not doing that, okay? But you just cannot take those sacks, man. You cannot take those sacks. And I hope that going forward, he's going to be a lot better. I really do. He's got 5 weeks left in this season to fix it, and he's got a whole off season, after the season's over. My only issue is that if the Browns are going to get rid of Kevin Stefanski, he's going to have to get a whole nother offensive playbook. a whole nother head coach, a whole nother offensive coordinator. And I'm very worried that we could be restarting the Baker Mayfield cycle all over again, which is just going to clean house. You're going to completely, change the offense with Kevin Stefanski going from different Kevin Stefanski offense. And you're just going to continue to repeat this cycle of we're going to change head coaches, change offensive coordinators, change everything, I'm very worried about that. But if the Browns are going to decide to bring in another quarterback in the draft, then cleaning house makes the most sense, right? If they're going to take, a quarterback in the first round. But if they're going to stay with Shador Sanders and develop Shador Sanders, to me, changing things may be a little bit of a, I'm just worried that we could be starting a different cycle again, like we did with Baker Mayfield, where he had 4 head coaches and 5 offensive coordinators in 4 years, right, when he was here. I don't want to go through that again, and especially with Shador Sanders, because I just don't want to go through the entire ordeal all over again. I just don't. Okay? So, again, I'm going to say, if I had to give a grade for Shador, if I were to give him a grade, probably give him a C. I'd probably give him a C for this game. I don't think he was... I think if I had to give him a grade for the first half, right? For the first half, I'd probably give him a B+. I would give him a B+. I probably would say he'd have an A if he didn't take that sack. I would give him an A instead of that sack. But the sack bumps him down to a B+. The second half, I'd probably give him a D to a C-. Wasn't good in the second half. Therefore, I have to give him a C. I have to even it out, okay? Probably give him a C+ to a C. But Shador, I think, is going to get better as the week goes on, as the season goes on. Again, it's his second NFL start, guys. It's his second NFL start. It's his third game, it's his second and a half game. He only played one half against the Ravens. He played pretty fine against, the Raiders. He was a mixed bag today against the 49ers. But again, it's his second start. I'm not going to kill the guy. I'm not going to say he cannot be a quarterback in the NFL. I'm also not going to say, yeah, he's going to be Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. I just think that we got to be better when it comes to evaluating these guys, especially Shador Sanders, because I know it's going to be very easy for people to try and say he's either going to be the best or he's going to be the worst. It's going to be very easy, okay? It's going to be very easy for people to say that, okay? But I want you guys to try and be analytical about this with your approach. You can be fans of the guy. I don't mind you if you're a Shador Sanders fan, or even if you don't like Shador Sanders. I do not. You can hate him or love him, but please keep it to the football that is being played on the field, okay? Please. You can say he had some good moments. He also had some bad moments. It's perfectly fine, because you know why? It's his second start in the NFL. It's his second start, and I hope that he will get better. I hope that he's going to improve, but the discourse that I'm seeing on social media, where it's either the best or the worst, he was fine. He had some moments because he's a rookie. He's a rookie quarterback, guys. He's not going to be full polished, amazing. He's also not going to be unbelievably awful, because he's not. He's not unbelievably awful. He's also not polished. He's a rookie. He's a rookie quarterback who's going to continue to develop and grow, okay? So I just hope that everyone could take a deep breath, relax, okay? He was fine. He was a C performance, a good first half, not so good second half. But it's also his second start in the NFL as a starting quarterback. He will continue to improve. He will continue to get better, okay? So that's why I want everyone to pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine, okay? We'll be better. Shador's going to be better. Hopefully, by the next couple of weeks, we'll have an answer as to, should we keep Shador being the starting quarterback next year, or do we have to go after a guy like Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza? We will find out in the next 5 weeks, and that is the best answer that we can possibly get, because we don't have to wait that long, guys. We don't have to wait that long. We only have 5 more weeks left. In 5 weeks, we will find out our answer. We will find out our answer in 5 weeks' time. So For everyone who's saying Shador Sanders is great, and for everyone who's saying Shador Sanders is bad, we will find out in 5 weeks what the Browns are going to do. We're going to find out in 5 weeks what the Browns are going to decide for Shador Sanders and decide for Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. We're going to find out in 5 weeks. It's not that long. It's not that long. So take a deep breath. We'll find out. Okay? We'll find out. All right. It's my thoughts on Shador Sanders right there. Okay? Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Once again, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Once again, if you guys have not heard the message, tomorrow, coming off the bench for next week, coming off the bench, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is going to be at 11 a.m. for the next week just because of work. So, 11 a.m., coming off the bench, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure you guys are staying tuned for that. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. You guys have been absolutely killing it today. Absolutely. This is the most amount of viewers I've ever had on a live stream before. So thank you guys so much for coming out here. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys hit the sub. We have a super chat today. $5 super chat by Moonlight, who says, you can't go for it inside of your own 35. Come on, that's a coaching error, and you can't muff punts. Yes, I know. I agree, Moonlight. Thank you for the super chat, the $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. You guys' support has been amazing. You guys have been killing it lately with the support. Absolutely killing it. I'm going to read some of your chats here. I apologize, guys. You guys have been killing it, so I'm going to be scrolling through a lot of your guys' chats. AK Lytical says, just a reminder, this is week 2 for 12. I agree. That's what I said. Ilwoma Ukairo, this coach and Jerry Judy's so wrong for the team. I agree. They're not good, man. I think they're going to get changed, and I think there's changes are going to come after this season. And like I said, 5 weeks, guys. We only have to wait 5 weeks. Sharon again says, get rid of the coach. I agree. Kai Chicky 1709 says, disappointed in Cleveland play calls. Shador Sanders, auntie fan. Shador. Okay, you got a Shador fan with hearts. Matthew Maleo 711 says, those 4th and 1s were ugly. They've shown the ability to run the Wildcat with Judkins in short yardage situation, but then they go away from that. I agree. That is true. I don't know why they don't do Wildcats on the 4th and 1. I guess they just are trying to keep it for the red zone, but I agree with that. I don't know why they don't do the Judkins Wildcat. Eduardo says Kevin's play calling is probably worst in the league. Well, the worst part is that he's not the one calling the plays. It's Tommy Rees. He gave away play calling, for the second time in 2 years, which I said at the time. I'm like, I don't understand why in God's name, if you're an offensive play caller and you're supposedly going back to your offense that you are supposed to be having success with, and it's not having success, I don't know how you think that looks good on you to give up play calling again for the second year in a row, but that was just me. Last time we returned a TD was 2009. Actually, that's not true because Travis Benjamin returned touchdowns and Donovan Peoples-Jones returned a touchdown returned a punt for a touchdown during Deshaun Watson's first game against the Texans. I remember that one. Okay, so 2022 was the last time the Browns returned a punt for a touchdown. Frito Saboth says, are players and coaches allowed to gamble on the games? No, they're not, but I would not be surprised if anyone is caught gambling with the recent stuff going on with different players in the NBA and MLB. Sharon says, love you, keep talking and talking. I appreciate it, Sharon. I really appreciate it. You guys' support has been amazing. Jay Schwan Richardson says, Kevin has to go. I agree. We got Chris Zorella says they will not beat the 1-11 Titans next week. I don't know, dude. If the Browns lose to the Titans, oh my God, I would. You may find me in a fetal position next Sunday. If the Browns lose to the Titans, the worst team in the league, it's going to help our draft prospects. But you may find me in a fetal position. That's going to be that bad. David Kermack says Sanders is not your answer. Move on. I disagree. I just think there's not enough game time to say that, man. It's a second start. Pray for you today says anyone blaming Shador Sanders is a hater. I don't agree with that. Yostis 7988 says this game was not on Shador Sanders. I just think he didn't help the plan. He didn't help the game with taking the sacks, but the loss is not all on him. I think he has a little bit of a part to play, but I would definitely say special teams is the main culprit behind why you lost today. I think it was play calling. Do you think? Says Sharon. I definitely think play calling was bad. Pray for you today again says he had 2 sacks and holding on the ball because nobody's open. That is also true, but if no one's open, man, just throw it away. Just throw it away. Erica King says the Bears turned it around once they got rid of the coach and now they are leaders. That is true. It's true. Ben Johnson has done a good job. 95 Budget Investor says he's trying to make plays, receivers not being open. It's true. Again, it's a two-way street. Receivers are not being open, and also you can also say Shador cannot take those sacks. It's a two-way street. Players got to get open. Also, Shador can't hold on to the football too long. Throw it away. Live for another down. It's a two-way street. Yosti says hold the ball too long. Sure, like Cleveland and Stellar one-on-one. Again, that's fine. I said it multiple times too. You guys can go back and look. They're 32nd in terms of separation and 32nd in terms of getting open. The Browns receivers. That also Shador has to also not hold on to the ball too long and not drift backwards. Two things can be right at the same time, guys. It's fine. It's fine. You can disagree with me though. Luis Neves 2311 says, I'm from Brazil. Oh, what's up, man? But miles and miles away. Why the F this coach does not call on that 1 yard 4th down? This coach tried to stop Shador to move from Brazil. Oh, I appreciate the support from Brazil, Luis. I appreciate it. I think that's the first Brazil view I've ever had. But thank you for the support and the view from Brazil, man. Paula says, what game were you watching? I don't know. I watched the same game. I don't know what you think. Boot Camp Rag says that was not the reason why they lost. He did not turn the ball over. That's true. I didn't say it was the reason that we lost. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that Shador didn't necessarily play well in the second half. He took too many sacks. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Again, guys, I'm not blaming Shador Sanders for the loss. I'm straight up right now. I'm not blaming Shador for the loss. Shador is not the main reason why you lost. I'm just saying he took too many sacks and he held the ball too long. That's it. Again, it's his second start and he's a rookie quarterback. I'm not going to kill him. I hope he gets better, and I hope that they get rid of the bad habits. He went back to his bad habits like all rookie quarterbacks do. Again, I'm not blaming him for the loss. I think special teams main culprit Bubba Ventrone and the play calling by Kevin and Tommy Reese are the main culprits. Shador Sanders is probably like the 5th or 6th reason why they lost to me. Beverly Park says, but he played better than Brock Purdy. Haters are gonna hate especially insecure people. I think Brock Purdy played a little bit better. Christopher Williams says, I don't know football. Okay, that's fine. Fair for you. Elward Crypto says, fire Stefanski now. I agree. Oh, God, there's so many comments, guys. I appreciate you guys coming out here. I'd be sitting here for a long time reading your guys' comments. Let's go back to the more recent ones. I agree. Eric King, I said, this is his second game. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not killing him. He's fine. OC Tillman says, I think Shador played pretty good. It's the calling of plays. Kevin needs to go. You have 4th and 1 and you don't go for it. Fire Kevin. Again, Kevin handed play calling off to Tommy Reese. Again, I think Kevin is not a good coach. I don't think he's fit for what the Browns are doing. Tommy Reese didn't necessarily help them with the 4th down call either. Okay? It's both of their faults. Shador, I don't think played necessarily as good as he probably could have. Okay, I'm not killing him. I'm just saying he didn't do as necessarily as good as he probably can. Adam says that going for it on their own 30 when it was 10-8 was the worst play call ever and ruined the spirit of the team. I agree. And again, I don't understand why Kevin Stefanski having to be the smartest guy in the room by saying, "Oh, we're gonna have instead of Shador Sanders being under center for this 4th and 1, what if we have the smart idea? These guys are never going to think of this. Robert Saleh's never going to think of this, guys, because what if, hold on, hear me out, he's in the meetings on like Wednesday. What if we have Harold Fannin under center and Shador is off the field? They won't know they won't know what's coming. They won't know what's coming, guys. And then you had what you had today. We've had this for 6 years with Kevin. 6 years. I don't know why they always have to try and outsmart everybody when it's 4th and 1. Just run the ball. Run the ball or QB sneak. He does not QB sneak. He also he refuses to hand the ball off on 4th and 1. Nunu Jerusalem says the ending score is 51-32. Who do you think was responsible? I don't know what. There was not 51-32. I don't know what you're talking about. Now Viola Brown says Shador didn't lose this game. It was the whole team. He's part of the team. He's part of the team. I mean, I don't think he's the main reason why they lost, though. Nunu Jerusalem says the Cleveland Browns are lazy, point blank, period. There is no QB under the sun that can do anything with those lazy players. Could be right. Could be right. Alien Saunders says when the offense scores only 8 points, QB isn't playing well enough. That's true. That is true. And like I said, first half, they played great. They played great. Shador played great. Offense played great. Defense was playing great. First half was a great football by the Cleveland Browns. Second half, everybody played bad. Everybody played bad. Well, actually, I'll say this. The entire game, special teams was horrible. Special teams was horrible. The defense and the offense of the Browns in the first half was great. Second half, the defense and the offense decided to say, "Oh, special teams sucks ass right now. We're just going to do the same thing that they're doing, and just completely make mental mistakes." So that's just what they did. Jimmy Davis says, "Agreed. Stefanski is not a good coach. Should have been fired." Yes, I think he will be. Momo says, "Sup bench, just getting home from work. That game was a shit show, except for like Mason Graham, Schlesinger, and Miles." Yes, they were. It was definitely a shit show in the second half. But the rookies, again, I said at the beginning of the show, Andrew Berry saved his job, man. Andrew Berry has saved his job. You guys can go back and watch my video about the athletic report after we're done here. But we talk about Mike Jones at the Athletic, talked about the Browns and Jimmy Haslam's thoughts about Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. Very interesting. And I think a lot of you people who want Kevin Stefanski to be fired are going to be very happy to see what he wrote in that article. So make sure you guys go watch that video after you're done here. Make sure you guys also, if you have not hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're live every single day after the Browns games. We're also live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for Coming Off the Bench, which is going to be 11 a.m. this week. Okay, so make sure you guys are staying tuned for that. But yeah, the rookies absolutely have saved Andrew Berry's job. Mason Graham was a beast today. Again, he was absolutely killing it with just blowing up that interior line of the 49ers. Ever since the bye week, Mason Graham has just been a stud. He's just been a stud. And you know what? At the time, I hated the pick. I didn't understand why you drafted a defensive tackle, number 5th overall. I didn't understand it. But you know what? I understand it now. Mason Graham's going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast. Schlesinger, absolutely still doing what Carson Schlesinger does. He's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Hopefully. Absolutely. He's like a bloodhound of the football, man. He senses it. He's got a nose for the football. Just absolutely can kill anybody with that football. I love Carson Schlesinger already. Quinshon Judkins had some good moments today as well. I mean, trying to run behind that offensive line, it's rough, but also trying to go after, trying to run behind that offensive line is rough. Dylan Sampson, same thing. Had some flashes, showed some promise, did some pretty good things. I love that from him. I'm always a Dylan Sampson believer ever since the first game. And then, Shador Sanders had some ups and downs, but he was pretty good too. Harold Fannin, same thing. Had that good touchdown pass, can break some tackles. I like what Andrew Berry did in this draft. He hit a home run. Now, everything balances and hinges upon if he comes back after this season and he decides to draft, next season. I don't know what they did to change their draft philosophy from the last 5 years to last year to actually pick players who are really good. I don't know what they did. But I hope if Andrew Berry is still here next year, going into the draft in April, I hope to God they do the same exact thing they did for 2025. Because if the Browns are able to come out of, in April after the draft, if the Browns are somehow able to come out with offensive linemen, receivers, and maybe a quarterback if they're in a position to draft a quarterback, you legitimately open yourself up to a new window, a new contention window, a new Super Bowl window, right? You open yourself up, for multiple years because now you have guys in every position. You got a linebacker, defensive line, secondary, offensive line, receiver, running back, quarterback. It all hinges. 2026 is going to be a very important draft, and I hope if Andrew Berry is still drafting players and still the GM, I hope they take what they did in 2025 and continue to do it in 2026 and 2027. That's going to be the most important thing, okay? Uh, let's see. Read a couple more of your guys' comments here. Savage Gang says, Coach is absolutely horrible and questionable. I agree. Jimmy Davis says, I can't grasp how Stefanski ever won Coach of the Year with his current coaching. Well, the problem is that he has worse talent around him as a coach, but he also is just not that good of a coach for today's NFL right now. K Supreme says, if it was Shador's fault, tell me the 3 plays he made that cost him the game. I'm not saying it's Shador's fault, but the one play that he had that was bad was the sack in the first half that took him out of field goal range that would have put them up 11-10 over the 49ers in the first half. But I'm not saying he was definitely not the main reason why the Browns lost today. He's not. London Jets fan says, get Malachi Corley off this team, pushing us back to the 6. What an idiot. I know. Again, Malachi Corley is so interesting because the guy they run this like end around with Malachi Corley once a game. He gets like 11 yards, goes absolutely apoplectic and like, yeah, I got the football, bitches. I got a first down, man. I got a first down. And then he just like makes one of the worst plays ever in the game after that. It's just very hilarious to see Malachi Corley after that. Momo says Ventrone's got to go. That's for sure. I agree. And then Key Supreme again. Why would they draft another quarterback? This is why some teams suck forever. That's the last thing they need to do. Well, I mean, the quarterback's the most important position. I agree. They need offensive line and receivers. That's the things they need. But I'm just saying that, I mean, we do need a quarterback at some point. And I hope Shador is the answer. I really do. I hope Shador is the answer. I said this from the start. I hoped that the Browns had a Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers scenario where both of them are so good, but you can't play both of them at the same time. I hope that was the case, okay? I hope Shador pans out. I really do. I really do. Okay. I think we might end it here, guys. I want to say 46 viewers right now. We went up to like 120 at one point. Thank you guys so much for coming out here on your Sunday night. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Coming off the bench this week at 11 a.m. instead of noon. We're going to be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. talking about the Browns game, going over it in more detail, giving you guys some reactions to that and to other things around the league. Make sure you guys are hitting subscribe. Hit the like button. You guys have been absolutely amazing tonight. I really appreciate it. You guys have been killing it lately with the support. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all tomorrow at 11 a.m. for Coming Off the Bench. Hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. I want to see you guys back here. Thank you guys so much for coming out here. Your support means everything. I'll see you guys all tomorrow for Coming Off the Bench at 11 a.m. Take care, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.